The ship's deck is swaying. I can hear the waves cascading onto our side of our cruiser. 20 feet ahead, I see my mom and sister, fear and nervousness etched on their faces. I vow at that particular moment never to go on a cruise line again. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Tonight, I'm going to share with you an event that left a mark on me that continues to this day. Shortly after my father's passing, my mom settled up the estate and decided that we needed a family vacation. So where does she take us? To our favorite destination, Disney World. And this time, she's booked us on the Disney Cruise Line, which is operated by Premier Cruises. And they have the big red boat. Now, we're all pumped. This 3-day cruise to the Bahamas is going to be exciting. We're even going to a private island. We get to the boat and board, and I am surprised to learn that on a cruise ship, you have safety messages, just like you would if you were boarding an airplane. And so we are summoned up to the top deck of the ship, where we half listen to safety instructions that are given by the crew. I'm surprised that marine tradition is that women and children really do go first. And if we are in full evac mode, the women and children will be at the front of the deck, the men to the back. One of the gentlemen that's sitting next to me, wearing a Mickey Mouse tank top, red sunburned shoulders. "Excuse me, sir. Do you mean if we're evacuated, my wife won't be on the ship with me?" "Yes, sir, that's right." "Cool, let's do an evac now." As you can imagine, there's lots of frivolity as this is being played out. Perhaps adding to that frivolity is the cruise line is giving away free cocktails. And being the 22-year-old male that I am, I indulge. Or should I say I overindulge. And by the time we hit dinner, I look about as green as the salad on my plate. "Stephen, you don't look very well." "Oh, Mum, relax. I'll be fine." By the main course, I was anything but fine. And so I decide to go back to my cabin to sleep off whatever is ailing me. My mum and sister head off for the entertainment. And as they sit and watch the show, my mum catches out of the corner of her eye crew members running frantically in and out of the hall. Suddenly, an announcement over the PA. "Attention all passengers. Please proceed to the main deck. We are in an emergency situation." My mum and sister calmly move out of the theater. By this time, smoke alarms are ringing throughout. My mum is fearful that I may have slept through, for I am a very deep sleeper. She heads to the hallway. The crew member is coming towards her. Ma'am, you can't come in here." "You don't understand my son. He's going to sleep through this. I need to make sure he's okay." "Ma'am, in addition to the alarms, we've knocked on every cabin. Nobody's answered. Go up to the deck, please." "You don't understand." And so my mum and sister trudge down the smoke-filled hallway, open the cabin door, and see me fast asleep. Steve! To say I'm sobered immediately would be an understatement. For now, smoke is coming into the room, and there's an unmistakable stench of something burning. We quickly move our way up to the deck and are handed our life jackets. And true to form in the earlier afternoon safety message, I find myself at the back. While my mum and sister are up at the front. This is not sitting well with my mum. And so she slowly makes her way back, trying to check in with her favorite son. Steve, are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine, Mom. I'll be fine. The crew member comes. Ladies and children are to the front. You must go back to the front. We may need to evac. So I'm left to sit and ponder. Now, this is the first time I have ever felt fear amongst people. The frivolity of this afternoon is a distant memory. People are now generally scared about what's about to happen to us. For you see, when you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and you look out, you don't see lights. You don't see shoreline. You see black nothingness. With just the moon giving what little light there is to the waves as they go on their way. And so I'm starting to be fearful of what we are in. I get more fearful when I see the crew members taking the tarps off the lifeboats. And we are reminded that our sister ship, which is just ahead of us, will circle back and pick up any lifeboats that happen to hit the water. Minutes feel like hours. Finally, an announcement. The emergency has been contained. We are now safe. However, you cannot go back to your cabins. And so the fear of the crowd turns to anger. Remember, this is the Disney Cruise Line. We have young children on this deck. The salt air is whipping around at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we are all feeling the chill of the Atlantic Ocean. Finally, we are allowed to go back to our cabins. The next day, we discover there was indeed a fire within the confines of the ship, and 4 families have had their trip cut short and have flown back to the Bahamas. The big red boat took on a different meaning that night as we were thinking of big red flames coming up through the hull. And that vow I made to never cruise again has been held true for these 22 years. Mr. Toastmaster.